Hi, my name is Elysia and you're about to watch the last photo in my climate change awareness project called One, and this one is called Plastic Pollution. The idea for this concept was to portray the negative impact of plastic pollution in our oceans. But you're not here to hear about plastic pollution and what you can do and all that stuff. You're here to watch the behind the scenes, right? If you just want to watch the behind the scenes, which I totally get, you can skip to right here where I start talking about the actual image. But first, I just think we need to get something out of the way. Since learning more about plastic pollution and how it impacts our ocean and all that jazz, I have started to implement small changes into my life that just minimizes the amount of plastic that we use. And that does not mean cutting plastic out completely, because that's just very hard. I want to do that, but it's just not something that you can do from one day to another, and you just don't have to feel like it's one of the other. I think that's what I'm trying to say. You can just make small changes and then make more changes and more changes along the way, and I think that's the way we should do it and the way we can do it. But I also don't think that we as individuals have all the power in our hands, because when we go to the grocery store, it's almost impossible to buy the things that we need and not buy plastic. It's just very, very, very hard. And maybe you can do it in the very big cities where they have those plastic package-free shops. I don't know what they're called. But most of us, we don't have that. And we have to buy food. I also think we need to push the people who actually have power to change it, and change it fast, because it's actually not that hard. So we also need to speak up and let the government know that it's not okay, and we want change and we want it now, because otherwise we're gonna destroy the ocean. And it's just, our ocean is so freaking pretty and beautiful and amazing and all that stuff, and let's just not destroy it, can we? So how do we speak up? We create art. At least that's what I do. That's the way that I can help in this, I think. And if you're watching this, chances are that you're also interested in creating art and all that stuff. So I think that's the most powerful thing that you can do too. So please do it, and if you do, send it to me or tag me in it or just whatever, and I would love to share it, because I think it's so important. And just, it doesn't have to be plastic even, it can be anything that makes a change. And yeah, I just think it's important to let the powerful people know that we care. The idea was pretty clear from the beginning. I wanted to create a piece that would have the ocean, plastic, and a human element in it. So I came up with the idea of having an underwater photo with a girl kind of wrapped in plastic or stuck in plastic or something. So how do you do that? I had no idea, but I knew that I would need a giant plastic bag. So I just texted all my friends and family and asked them if they had some plastic that they otherwise were gonna throw out, and I got a lot of plastic, and then I just hot glued a lot of plastic together to kind of create a giant plastic bag. And after that, I also knew that I had to do it underwater. So I thought that I'd build my own underwater case with the help of my boyfriend, and that didn't really go very well, so yeah. If you want to see how that turned out, you can watch the video right here, but I ended up buying an underwater bag off of Amazon for pretty cheap, and that worked alright. So now I just needed a pool. First of all, I actually thought that I could do it in the actual ocean, so we went out in the middle of October, and I got into the water first just to test it out, because my model was gonna be half naked and in the water, and it would be very cold. So I got into the water first, and pretty quickly I realized that the water was just too unclear. You couldn't really see anything, and it also wouldn't be safe to put the plastic in the water, because if the giant bag would break, we would have plastic in the ocean, and that wouldn't really be very smart. So we went home again and tried to make a new plan. Then I contacted the local swimming pool and never got a reply, but then later my grandparents actually invited my whole family to a cottage with a swimming pool. So when we got there, I had brought my underwater case, my camera, and the clothing and the wig and everything, and the plastic, so that we were ready to shoot it in the cottage. It was just perfect. So we were in the cottage for 3 days. So I spent the first 2 days just learning how to actually shoot with this underwater camera, which was very hard. First of all, you have to look through the viewfinder with your goggles on, unless you can have your eyes open underwater. I can't. So I have to look through the goggles and then into the viewfinder. That in itself is just very hard. And then also it's very hard to press the camera underwater because it's filled with air, so it wants to go upside. It's like, imagine trying to push down a ball in the water and then having to push yourself down at the same time. It's pretty much impossible. But finally we figured out that it would actually just make it a lot easier if I had someone push me down as I was taking the photos. So that's what we did. It sounds a little bit scary, but it worked, and that's what matters, right? We both took some photos with the plastic and without the plastic to just have as much room to work with as possible, and it was very hard to see and very hard to communicate and all that stuff, so we just took a lot of photos and hoped that it would work later. I really hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes. If you want to see the 4 others that I already have created and already have posted, you can find them in the description box below. And if you liked the video, please give it a like, it would just make me very happy, and comment down below your thoughts on plastic pollution and all that stuff. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post some new content. Here's my Instagram if you'd like to see more, and until next time, bye!